Nita Vishaka. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadamai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Vishwabha Paramahansa Bhavarajikacharya Sisavit A.C. Bhaktivadana Samsara Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Pramsagaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Govida Shama Kunda Radha Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvat Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Jamuna Tulasi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Guranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Vijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasoda Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishwabha Paramahansa Bhavarajikacharya Saraswati Swadesi Bhaktivadana Samsara Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sagha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Govida Shama Kunda Radha Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Jamuna Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samavet Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Guranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Buddhadaya Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadane Nirvashesha Shanivari Paschatadesha Tarane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 36, verse 18. Neshamyatad Bhojapati Kopat Prachalatendriya Nishatam Asim Adatta Vasudeva Jagangsaya. Neshamya, hearing, taught that Bhojapati, lord of the Bhoja dynasty, Kopat, out of anger, Prachalita, disturbed, Indriya, his senses, Nishatam, sharp, Asim, sword, Adatta, took up, Vasudeva Jigangsaya, with the desire to kill Vasudeva. Translation: upon hearing this, the master of the Bhojas became furious and lost control of his senses. He picked up a sharp sword to kill Vasudeva. But Narada restrained Kamsa by reminding him that it was the two sons of Vasudeva who would cause his death. Kamsa then had Vasudeva and his wife shackled in iron chains. Purport: Kamsa realized that there was no use in killing Vasudeva since it was Vasudeva's sons, Krishna and Balaram, who were to kill him. According to the Acharyas, Narada also advised Kamsa that if he killed Vasudeva, the two young boys might flee, and that it was therefore better not to kill him. Rather, Narada recommended Kamsa should bring Krishna and Balaram to Kamsa's capital city, Mathura. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti points out that Narada did not act inimically towards the great devotees Vasudeva and Devaki when he revealed this information to Kamsa. In fact, as explained in the 11th canto, Vasudeva was grateful to Narada because he was arranging for Kamsa's death at Krishna's hands, and further arranging for Krishna to come and live in Mathura, where his loving father could associate with him. Text 20. After Narada left, King Kamsa summoned Keshi and ordered him go and kill Rama and Krishna. Before having Krishna and Balaram brought to Mathura, Kamsa tried sending one more demon to Vrindavan. The king of the Bhojas next called for his ministers, headed by Mushtika, Chanura, Shala, and Toshala, and also for his elephant keepers. The king addressed them as follows: My dear heroic Chanura and Mushtika, please hear this. Rama and Krishna, the sons of Anakodundabi,
are living in Nanda's cowherd village, it has been predicted that these 2 boys will be the cause of my death. When they are brought here, kill them on the pretext of engaging them in a wrestling match. Erect a wrestling ring with many surrounding viewing stands and bring all the residents of the city and outlying districts to see the open competition. Purport: the word mancha refers to platforms constructed with large pillars. Kamsa wanted a festive atmosphere that Krishna and Balaram would not be afraid to come. You, elephant keeper, my good man, should position the elephant Kuvalayapida at the entrance of the wrestling arena and have him kill my 2 enemies. Commence the bow sacrifice on the Chaturdasi day in accordance with the relevant Vedic injunctions. In ritual slaughter, offer the appropriate kinds of animals to the magnanimous Lord Shiva. Having thus commanded his ministers, Kamsa next called for Akrura, the most eminent of the Yadus. Kamsa knew the art of securing personal advantage, and thus he took Akrura's hand in his own and spoke to him as follows. My dear Akrura, most charitable one, please do me a friendly favor out of respect. Among the Bhojas and Vrishnis, there's no one else as kind to us as you. Gentle Akrura, you always carry out your duties soberly, and therefore I am depending on you, just as powerful Indra took shelter of Lord Vishnu to achieve his goals. Please go to Nanda's village where the 2 sons of Andakudunabi are living, and without delay bring them here on this chariot. Purport: Srila Vishnu Chakravarti gives the following interesting note. When King Kamsa said, with this chariot, he pointed with his index finger to a brand new attractive chariot. Kamsa thought that since Akrura was innocent by nature, when he saw this fine new vehicle, he would naturally want to drive it and quickly bring the 2 boys back. But the actual reason Akrura went on a new chariot was that it would have been clearly inappropriate for the Supreme Personality of God to mount a chariot that had already been enjoyed by wicked Kamsa. So here we have a plan of Kamsa. After Naradamuni revealed that Krishna and Balaram were hidden in Vrindavan and protected by Nanda Maharaj. So as is explained here, he got very angry and he wanted to, he took up his sword and he wanted to kill Vasudeva. But then, of course, Naradamuni refrained him, and he also thought that actually we have to kill Krishna and Balaram, and by killing Vasudeva nothing is accomplished, and maybe Krishna will flee away. So, and then Kamsa began to devise various means of killing Rama and Krishna and Balaram. One was to send another demon there. That's Keshi. This is the last demon who came to Vrindavan. And then, if that didn't work, then he also called his ministers, these wrestlers actually, and they would have a wrestling competition. And of course, before the wrestling competition, there was the elephant keeper with the elephant. So the elephant would kill him. If the elephant didn't kill him, then the wrestlers would kill him. So he had 3 devices: Keshi, the elephant, and then the wrestlers. So these were the precautions he took to make sure that Krishna and Balaram would be killed. So this is, of course, because he worried about the prediction that had been made long, long ago, and why he originally imprisoned Vasudeva and Devaki, because that prediction had said that the 8th child would be his death. And either Balaram or Krishna was the 8th child, so he feared that they would kill him. So why did he fear death so much? One, of course, naturally because being a demon, he's very attached to his material body, and he's very attached to his position. And we see that he attained that position by faulty means, criminal means. He took Ugrasena off the throne and put himself on the throne when Ugrasena was very, very qualified. So by ill means he got control and he did this with the support of other demoniac persons. And consequently, all the other Yadus who opposed this, they were persecuted or driven out of the kingdom or whatever, or imprisoned, as we see Vasudeva and Devaki were imprisoned. So he got control of the kingdom, and he was enjoying very nicely. So he enjoyed for maybe 11 years or so, or maybe longer, because before Krishna was born is a year, 2, 3 years, whatever, several years. And then Krishna was in Vrindavan for about 11 years or so. So during that time, he got some material happiness from his kingdom, enjoying the kingdom and controlling the kingdom. So he was attached to that. And he, of course, always feared the death. So, of course, originally he had imprisoned Vasudeva and Devaki, and all their children were born, and he killed all the children, and then finally Krishna had escaped. And then he tried to kill this other child, which was Nanda Maharaj's child, the girl child, and then she escaped in the air also. So this is a little confusing and bewildering for him. So he was quite unsure what had happened. Where's that 8th child? So he sent out various demons to try to find out where is the son of Vasudeva. And therefore in Vrindavan we find many demons appearing trying to kill Krishna. But he was not quite sure of what had happened. So now Naradamuni had come and revealed exactly, yes, that Krishna and Balaram are actually there. They're living there. 11 years they've lived in there, and they killed all the demons and whatever, and they're the sons of Vasudeva. So he explained that he'd been taken out of the prison house, and he was actually there. So now he had definite proof of Krishna and Balaram, where they were, through Naradamuni. So therefore he began these different actions of specifically trying to kill them. So then ultimately his method was to invite them to this wrestling match. Of course he also invited the whole community there with Nanda Maharaj to pay the taxes, and at the same time have this wrestling match in which either through the elephant or through the wrestlers he would kill, in case he did not kill him first. So with these various means he hoped to preserve his kingdom and would avoid that prediction made at the very beginning when he was, and after which he even tried to kill his Devaki. So now we find that to do this, Krishna has to leave Vrindavan. He has to come to Mathura. And Naradamuni is the person who wants this to take place because he understands that in the future Krishna has to kill other demons as well in Mathura and Dwarka. So that was described later. The demons like Jarasandha attack Mathura, and then later on demons attack Dwarka. So Mathura and Dwarka are there, and many demons are there as well. So all of these demons have to be eliminated. One of the purposes of the Lord to destroy all the demons. So even though Kamsa was killed, his supporters were still around, like Jarasandha and others. And so therefore they all had to be annihilated. So Krishna had to do that later on. So Naradamuni therefore had to arrange for Krishna to leave Vrindavan and come to Mathura, knowing full well that then from there he would go to Dwarka, etc., and spend some time out of Vrindavan. So that, of course, was in one sense unfortunate for the people of Vrindavan, but necessary for the completion of Krishna's pastimes. Because Naradamuni himself is full of all knowledge, he's omniscient, or sarvagya. He knows the general outline of the pattern of Krishna's pastimes, and he knows when Krishna has to do certain things. So therefore we cannot blame him for this particular arrangement of going and telling Kamsa about this. This was a means of bringing Krishna there. And of course it also fulfilled another purpose. The Vasudeva and Devaki and the Yadus got association with Krishna. They had been in separation from Krishna for so long. Now they got association with Krishna, and they would get association for a long time after this. So they also needed the association of the Lord, so therefore this was an arrangement by which they got the association. Therefore Naradamuni made this arrangement. Now the particular person who was sent was Akrura, who was also a very great devotee of the Lord. So in spite of the fact that he had this very unfortunate job of bringing the Krishna and Balaram out of Vrindavan and getting the curse of the people there, including the gopis, they all cursed him. Again, he's simply acting as a vehicle for Krishna's pastimes, and therefore he's very famous as the one who took Krishna from Vrindavan. So he followed the order of Kamsa, even though he was a yadu, and he was actually a devotee of the Lord. But he did this again to fulfill his own desire to see Krishna, and also the desire of the yadus to associate with Krishna, and of course to kill Kamsa. So therefore we cannot blame Akrura also. So later on we will see that the greatness of Akrura is expressed or is manifested when he thinks of how he will meet Krishna, and then when he sees the footprints of Krishna on the sand, then in joy he offers his respects and offers prayers, etc. So he was very, very devoted. So he was not, even though this we can say is unfavorable for the people of Vrindavan, it was favorable for the for the yadus of Mathura. Therefore he's not at fault also. But in doing this, of course, the people of Vrindavan got very upset with him, and they thought of him as some very sinful person because of the act of taking him away, and therefore they cursed him. And so because of that curse, later on he took the wrong side in this whole story of the Shamantaka jewel, etc. And then he had to, it looked like he was also involved in that criminal activity. So it said because of the curse of the gopis that this happened. But of course, again, pastime only. So he's also an eternal associate of the Lord, an eternal servant of the Lord in Dasya, and a relative of the Lord also. So we cannot blame him for this. So in these particular verses, we see how Kamsa tries to engage Akrura in his own plans to, kill Krishna and Balaram by bringing them. And he uses his skill by persuading Akrura to do this and supplying with a nice chariot, or ratha. And of course, Akrura is very happy to do this because he will get the opportunity to see Krishna and Balaram for the first time, actually, in this particular pastime of Krishna. So he willingly takes up this role, and he's supplied with this new chariot. So it is explained that his pleasure was that Krishna and Balaram could ride as the masters of a new chariot, because this was suitable to them as the Supreme Lord. So we see that when we offer things to the Lord, we don't offer used things, used by anybody else. When we offer food, it is food not eaten by anybody else. When we offer clothing, it is new clothing, etc. So we offer new items at all times to Supreme Lord. That is the vidi, or the rule in worship of the Lord. So it's obvious that Akrura understood Krishna is Supreme Lord, very, very explicitly. On the other hand, the people of Vrindavan were not aware of that, and they were not thinking at any time of that, oh, we have to offer new items to Krishna because he's Supreme Lord. But we see that out of great devotion to Krishna still, because of their affection for him. They wanted to offer him the best items and the best food, etc. So it is a similar type of thing. They would offer him, let's say, the food in the morning. So therefore, Yasoda and Rohini and even Radha would cook very nice items. And they were doing this for Krishna. So they offered to Krishna first and see that he was enjoying these items, and then they distributed to everybody else. So this was just natural to them, not because he was Supreme Lord, but because they had such affection for him and they wanted to please him. On the other hand, we see that the Yadus and Akrura, they offer things, understanding Krishna as Supreme Lord, so with great respect they want to offer the best and new items as well. The reason is a little bit different, but still devotional. So, of course, when we have devotion to a person, then we want to offer the best thing, and we want to offer the newest thing. So this carries over even into the material world. So when you give a gift to somebody, you don't offer a used item, you offer a new thing. You wrap up a nice present like a cell phone or something, you don't give them a used one, you give them a new one, and a new box and everything. If you give them a second-hand one, then it's not considered very good. So the same respect is there for offering things to the Lord. We want to offer the best, and generally the best is the newest item, etc. So in this way, he was pleased with the chariot because it was a new chariot. And then he also thought that Krishna and Balaram will be pleased with this. Of course, Kamsa's reason was a little bit different. He thought, oh, by making such a wonderful chariot, Krishna and Balaram will get all bewildered and they'll get attracted to this new vehicle and they want to ride in it, and etc. And this way we'll, make them come to Vrindavan, to Mathura, because it's a nice new vehicle and it's got gold on it and jewels on it, and they'll get fascinated by this and they want to ride in it. So he's thinking of them in a material way. They'll be enamored by the wealth and whatever like that. And again, it's also a show of his wealth and position. Out of pride, he wants to give show the best things. So then he offers this new chariot, which is full of gold and jewels, etc. So from a material point of view, he's offering the best thing out of pride, whereas Akrura is taking it, accepting it, and driving it because it is most suitable for the Supreme Lord. And of course, Krishna also accepts it. Why does he accept it? He knows it's from Kamsa, so in that sense it's not anything favorable, and he's not really attracted to it for that reason at all. But simply, he also wants to fulfill his later pastimes. So this is an appropriate vehicle for him to go in. So in this way, the arrangements are now made for the departure of Krishna from Vrindavan. But then there's a last lila, that is the killing of Keshi. And then after this, we have a description of arrival of Akrura. And then Akrura's speaking with Nanda Maharaj. And then finally, Akrura taking Krishna away. And that will end the Vrindavan pastimes.
Two questions. Usually in this material world, when somebody is giving a new thing to us, we get very pleased. But here we find that Kamsa is giving a new chariot and he's having a hidden motive behind it. Similarly, someone wants to give donation to the Lord. He may not be pure because he wants something back. I'm giving to Krishna so that I'll get it back many times, multifold back.
Yeah.
But still, when they give donation, they become purified.
Well, this is the mercy of the Lord. Actually, you see, the Lord doesn't need anything. So even when we offer the newest item and the best item, it's all material anyway. What does Krishna do with material things? He got spiritual things in the spiritual world eternally, and he got all the wealth anyway. And in the spiritual world, whatever he wants, he gets simply by thinking of it. So all the diamonds and rubies and emeralds and sapphires and gold and silver and whatever items and ornaments, whatever he wants, is available to him in the spiritual world, made out of not material elements but spiritual elements. So even if we offer the best thing like the kings do here, they offer jewels to the deity, etc. It's all material. So in one sense, why does the Lord have to accept it? So he doesn't have to accept it, but he accepts the devotion behind it. Because we're trying to give the best thing to the Lord, therefore he accepts it because he's accepting the devotion. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you can offer the simplest thing, a leaf, a fruit, a flower also, and I will accept it if there's devotion. So if you have more than a leaf and a flower, but then you say, okay, Krishna only wants a leaf and a flower, so I've got all this money and I got all this wealth, I'm not going to offer anything, then this is a show of lack of devotion. So deity worship, as explained by Jiva Goswami, is an opportunity for the rich grihastas to use up their wealth. They can spend it on offering things to the Lord. So this is a good employment of their wealth rather than use it for their own enjoyment.
Also in the material world, when a servant does anything without the permission of the master, he's taken into task. So my question is that Naradamuni, did he take permission from Krishna that he's going to tell Kamsa, or he independently has told this? And
well, obviously, Naradamuni is also a Shaktivesh avatar of the Lord. So as I said, he is Sarvagya. He knows everything. So in the Gopal Champu there's a whole description of what he was thinking now. We have to start the later pastimes because Krishna has to kill many other demons. Not only Kamsa has to be killed, but so many of his followers have to be killed. This is going to take some years. So therefore, those later pastimes of Krishna have to be manifested. And of course, Naradamuni is there every day of Brahma. He lasts for the whole of Brahma's life. He is born on the first day of Brahma, and throughout Brahma's life, Naradamuni is there. And every day, Krishna has his pastime, so he knows more or less, it's not exactly the same, but he knows the very pattern of Krishna's pastimes, that he's taken to Vrindavan, and then he goes to Mathura, etc. So he understands this, so he's only, let's say, assisting in the pastimes of Krishna, because this is Krishna's will ultimately.
Or maybe Krishna is finding it difficult to go out of Vrindavan because of the gopis' intense love. Through Naradamuni is trying to have an excuse to go.
That's one worry in one sense, that because Krishna has so much enjoyment in Vrindavan, will he ever leave? So then Naradamuni more or less has to remind him. And actually in the Gopal Champu there's a whole description of not only what Naradamuni thinks, but he has a discussion with Krishna and says, well, we know that now you have to do this in the future. So he's prompting him that you have to do this, even though you want to stay here, you have to do these things, so now we have to go. So he's encouraging him to go because he's reminding him of the future activities that he will have to do.
Just now Narada reveals to Kamsa about the trick of Vasudeva at the time of Krishna's birth. But how to understand that Kamsa still had put faith in Narada at this point of time? He is putting faith on Narada's words.
Oh, well, because it isn't it is we can say a likely explanation of what happened, because he wasn't quite sure what happened to that eighth child, etc. But now we get an explanation from someone, and he also sees that he sent so many demons around, and they all got killed in Vrindavan. Yeah, starting with Putana, and then Trinavarta and Sakarasura and so many other, Bakasura, etc., all sent by Kamsa. So now this is like a confirmation, more or less. Krishna is there. So he would believe it because of so much evidence was there, even though no one had stated it. So this is we can say another opportunity for Kamsa to try to kill Krishna. So he does this in various ways. 3 ways he's doing this now.
We see Narada is putting a kind of apparent precarious situation for Vasudeva, Nanda, everybody by this act of conveying to Kamsa. I mean, we see similar things, Maharaj. Adverse situation happens in case of Parishit or in terms of Vritrasura, and they take it in a very positive way in any such situation. How a sadhaka can develop such a positive faith in any precarious or adverse situations?
Well, if he has strong faith, then he accepts everything. And that strong faith to continue in spite of all the problems is a sign of his faith, and then Krishna shows his mercy. So that is directly stated in Bhagavatam, that the devotee thinks that all of this problem that is happening is due to my own karma, and it's self-created. It's got nothing to do with the Lord willing this at all. So he humbly accepts that, and simultaneously, he continues to serve the Lord. And then, the result is, he is doyabak. He is the recipient of the Lord's mercy because of that. The Lord sees that he is very, very faithful, and therefore the Lord is merciful to him.
Maharaj, see, when Akrura comes to Vrindavan, he sees that dealing of Brajabasis with Krishna, but they are not dealing with Krishna as a Lord, like their own relatives, own parents. But Akrura thinks that he is a Lord. So is there any change of Akrura's feeling that why they are not treating Krishna as a Lord?
Oh, well, there's not so much discussion about that because his stay was very brief. Just one night, actually. So he didn't get to see so much there. Whereas Uddhava later on, he spent a lot of time there, and he could observe the intensity of their love for him. And of course, Krishna hasn't been taken away yet, so therefore the grief and separation is not so evident. Whereas when Uddhava comes, then he sees their grief and separation and the intensity of their love. So, and he stayed there for some time. So, therefore, it's not really described here how Akrura observed their difference or whatever like that. He wasn't so aware of it.
But Akrura informed Nanda Maharaj that he's not his son actually. He's a son of Vasudeva.
Well, later on, it doesn't really mention that, but later on, of course, Vasudeva obviously mentions that. But even then, Nanda doesn't hear it. He still thinks of Krishna as his son. And then Krishna, when he speaks to Nanda Maharaj, he says, I'm your son. So therefore, he says, okay, whatever they say it's not true. Because Krishna himself is saying, I'm your son, and I'm coming back. So therefore, Nanda Maharaj never accepts it. And later on again, when they go to Kurukshetra, then Devaki says, well, Krishna is our son. But they don't hear that again. They're so in love with Krishna that they see him as their son. And they put Krishna and Balaram on their laps.
So Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda were not aware of this, that they had a daughter also, something like that. They had a daughter also, they are not aware of this.
Who's not aware?
Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, means because that Vasudeva only took the daughter to the gate to Kamsa.
Not explained in detail about what happened, whether they thought about the daughter or not, whatever. Obviously, maybe somebody explained later on, but still, they still think of Krishna as their son. And of course, the other explanation is that Krishna was born to them, along with the daughter, etc., etc. But
that is hidden.
What they believed at that point about the daughter, they don't know, but they take Krishna as their son, and it's also true.
All the 6 sons were killed by Kamsa. Now Kamsa is sending him back. By bringing these 2 boys, Kamsa will kill. So he didn't refuse. He very well knew that when Kamsa sees Krishna and Balaram, they'll kill. Or had he faith that Krishna will kill Kamsa?
Who's that?
Yeah, he accepted Kamsa's order to bring Krishna and Akrura. But he very well knew that when he brings Krishna and Balaram comes, Kamsa will kill him.
Well, because he knows he's the Supreme Lord, then he's also aiding in, helping Kamsa get killed and, free the Vrishnis from the, persecution of Kamsa and his cohorts.
Maharaj, this Gopi's curse on Akrura seems to be apparently working. Seems to create a fearsome situation for a sadhaka. Gopi's curse on Akrura for bringing him out away from Vrindavan, and he's having an impact due to which that Chintamani, some pastime. So this seems to create a fear in a sadhaka, Maharaj.
Fear?
Yeah.
In what? Taking Krishna from Vrindavan?
No. See, he's a devotee. I mean, his intent is nothing but
well,
devotion.
this is a way, the Acharyas explain it as some people say that it's a curse. So it's not actually stated by the Acharyas there was a curse or anything like that. So they say it like that. And even if it is a curse, we find that in the spiritual world, Tulsi got cursed or whatever like that. So many curses are there. But they're not real curses in the... they're not material curses at all. They're only there as part of the pastimes for certain leelas. That's all. So it's not anything, a real curse in the material way.
And what about the also got cursed. Shidam, I think Shidam also get cursed. In Shidam also get cursed.
Who?
Shidam also get cursed in his spiritual and come in the material.
Yeah. So all that is also lila only. It's not nothing.
For that also, that the devotees, there is a separation between the Lord and the devotees for the pastimes.
Or even we see that Pariksha got cursed and whatever like that. So again, it's not a real curse. It is an arrangement of the Lord only for pastimes.